everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar. Today we are presenting webinar on self-limiting belief and money mindset organized by Applied Science and Humanities Department of Parul Polytechnic Institute, Parul University. The main agenda of this webinar is to know the limiting decisions that are hiding out in the areas where we are producing results that we don't want. It will also guide us to write the limiting belief down and acknowledge that these are beliefs and not the truths, and try on a different belief and different action. I, Vaishali Nathwani, would like to introduce today's guest speaker, Anu Haran from Malaysia. She is a HRDF certified trainer who has obtained her master's degree and bachelor's in human resource development. She has published 5 peer-reviewed papers and presented in 2 international conferences. She has around 8 years working experience in HR field and in multinational firms such as Baker Hughes International, Eversendai Corporation Berhad, and Shell Business Operations. She has been involved in both managerial as well as individual contributor in a large-scale projects. She is also knowledgeable in the end-to-end training aspects such as training needs analysis, training module development, training administration, training delivery, and assessment. She is passionate in coaching job seekers and employees in transition and also puts on the hat as career coach whereby she coaches job seekers in getting their dream career. This includes 1:1 interview skills development, resume writing services, and LinkedIn revamp services. Her programs also focuses on building presence in social media, getting clients to find you, and personal branding. It's a privilege to welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Vaishali, for the amazing introduction. It's nice to hear all this from you. I mean,
Yes.
it's getting myself from another viewpoint. But thank you so much for inviting me for this webinar. It's actually an honor for me. This is the first time I'm presenting for a university in India. So yes, it's going to be a interactive session where, like what Vaishali said, it's going to be about self-limiting belief and then how to actually identify what is limiting you from achieving what you want. So we will go through one by one. So you don't worry about it. Just be chill and just be yourself. I just want you guys to be totally honest with yourself. All right. So throughout this webinar for this another 40 minutes, I want you to reflect a lot. So I'm going to give you a space for reflection and also to see what actually is limiting you from getting to your potential. All right. So let me share my slides right now and we can go straight to it. So may I ask, how's the Q&A going to be? Is it going to be at the end of the session?
Yes, madam, at the end of the session after your presentation.
Okay, so guys, just write down any question that you have, so I will get back to it at the end of the session. All right. So let me just share with you. Okay, so we're going to talk about self-limiting belief, but today's focus, since it's going to be 40 minutes, I'm going to actually focus more on money mindset because I believe money is something important for all of us. I mean, there's no denying how important money is in our life, especially right now at this moment. However, there is what I realized throughout these years, right? I've been working for the past 8 years. I had full-time job, and right now I'm doing on my own lah. So I have like kind of like business on my own and I'm doing coaching and training as well. So what I realized having two different type of job is that it's actually the mindset that is inhibiting us from attracting and getting the money that we want. All right. Probably we have a lot of other reasoning as well, but when we actually go deep dive on our and reflect on what is the actual root cause or the reasoning, we would go back to our mindset. So I really believe that self-limiting belief and money mindset is something that is interrelated, where I'm going to touch base on. All right. So of course, whatever I'm going to share with you, I'm going to like explore with you guys would be totally theoretical, right? So I'm going to tell you, you know what, this is it, this is what going to happen, and you know, this may be the reason. But again, end of the day, since it is all on belief system and mindset, it goes back to you, right? So after this session, don't think, okay, the session is over and I'm done with it. You know, you have to always go back and reflect what you have thought upon today, what we have learned today. Always reflect on it. All right. Probably now, after the session, you may identify few root cause that you think that you need to change. All right. So you shouldn't stop at it. You have to take action every single day to see what are you doing to change your current belief system. So that's another disclaimer that I would like to share with you. Right, things wouldn't change after this 40-minute session, 45 minute session. It all goes back to what action you take to change your belief system. All right. Okay, so you may be wondering, you know, who am I and why you should listen to me, okay? Thanks to Vaishali, who has actually explained a lot about me, so I don't really have any job explaining about myself, all right? So apart from the certification, the experience, and whatever not that I have, I'm also the same individual just like any of you, right? Like 6 years back, 5 years back, I was just like any of you, right? I have all this dream. I wanted to achieve this, a lot of stuff that I want to achieve. However, I feel there's something stopping me. All right. So there is a potential that there are ideas. There, I know I'm capable. However, I do not want to take the first step because of a lot of things. Maybe there's wall blocker. There is fear. There's this thinking that what other people will think about me. Right. A lot of things. Right. So it took some time for me to actually break the wall. I wouldn't say that happened in one day, but I read a lot of books, and one of the book that really helped me was Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. Right, because when I have finished my studies, and I've actually I think I was really, how to say, I was really ambitious. I wanted to do a lot of things, right? But however, there was a lot of stoppers when I wanted to do something that I want. All right, so it took time for me to go back and reflect, why is that happening. It took a long time. All right, it's not, I've read the book, it took time for me to apply the book. So when I've actually changed my belief system, I see a lot of things change around me, right? The people that I meet, the kind of how to say, opportunities that I get, the type of energy that surrounds me, it all became something different than what I used to have before that, right? Before that, I used to be this normal person who go to work day in day out complaining about my life, right? It was me like 6 years back, right? But then there was one point where I decided that, you know what, why am I complaining so much? This is my life. Either I do something to change it. All right. And thank God at that point of time, I have some good friends who actually advised me to say that if you're so unhappy about your life, why don't you do something about it? Right. So that caused me to go back and reflect and see what is happening. What is it so different between me and other people who are successful in their life? Why can't I be as successful as them? I'm capable. I have good education. I have good family background. Everything is good. There's nothing really stopping me from achieving my potential. But yet, why am I still stuck here without achieving what I need to achieve? So it took time for me. All right. So when I actually I wouldn't say I'm super successful lah right now. Okay, obviously not. I'm not a millionaire or billionaire. However, I would say that I have improved tremendously from how I was 6 years back, and compared to now. It was a lot of big change that happened to me, a lot of improvement. I've opened up few successful business, and me as a trainer, I think I had built a personal branding around me as a trainer and coach as well, and I also get good reviews from my clients. So that requires a lot of mind shift change, and that is why I want you guys to listen to me, because I want to share with you what I have experienced personally, and what kind of things that I did personally that caused me to be able to improve myself tremendously, right? So that is the reason you have to listen to me, not all this, right? All these are important, but yet that is the most important reason why you need to listen today, because I have came across that crossroad and I've gone through it, and I want you guys to go through it successfully as well without feeling stuck forever. Okay, so you may have come across this, especially when you go through any motivational talk, right? What is exactly self-limiting belief? Why is it? Why it impacts so much in our daily life, right? Why can't we just, why can't we just go through our life day in day out? Why does this one thing actually hinders and acts as a wall that cause us not to achieve what we want to achieve, right? So there is a reasoning psychologically. It's like this, guys. Let me just tell you, everything that happens within us and surrounding us since childhood affects us. Okay, we may think no, it's all us individually, but no, surrounding matters. What our parents tell us, it matters. What we see, even though it didn't happen to us personally, right, but we saw it happening to some other person, it will affect us. And that is what psychologically we term as trauma, right? When you say things like trauma, meaning to say something that happened in one point of your time that actually had this cause and effect kind of how to say it, it has this cause and effect to your own life, all right? Even though you personally didn't experience it, but you feel that you do not want to do something because it happened to someone else and you heard the story. Example, let me tell you. Okay, when I was young, my dad was a businessman. He loves doing all kind of business. However, there was this one time where he actually gone for a bankruptcy. It was a very bad phase in our life where it was very difficult for us to get food to eat. We have to actually ask for our uncle and auntie to give us food to eat. It was a very bad time. So it went through around 1 or 2 years, the suffering, I would say, until my dad decided to not go into business again. So he went through full-time job. That one thing had actually stopped me from going and opening up or exploring business. Really, that one thing, because I saw how difficult it was when my dad went into that bankruptcy state, right, where it was so difficult for us to get food to eat and for 1 year. So even though I was really interested, I have a lot of ideas. I had a lot of concept. I had a lot of good business idea. Some of the business idea I don't even have to invest anything, but yet it really stopped me from exploring the business world because of that one reason. So guys, that's how one thing can actually affect us and bring us, even after we are adult, even after we see so many other example of successful business, but yet because of that one thing that happened, right, it stops us. It gives us this fear and not allowing us to explore ourselves further. So that is how impactful self-limiting belief is, and that is why it's so important for us to like identify what actually happened, right, and how you can actually break that through. All right, so limiting beliefs are exactly what they sound like. Okay, when you say limiting, that means limits you, right, from getting into what you are supposed to be, what is your potential, from exploring yourself. It actually acts like a blocker. Maybe you may have a lot of opportunities in your life, but you do not want to take action on it because of this self-limiting belief. One of the example was what I told you, but that is regarding business. But there are so many other aspects of life that you can think of when you actually look at self-limiting belief. Probably relationship, right? Some people may be so afraid to get into any relationship, maybe because of betrayals, right? So that is also self-limiting belief. Probably job job, right? You are so afraid to take some new task or some new how to say project because you haven't done before. So fear of unknown, right? Maybe your boss have complained saying that, oh, the person didn't do the project well and now we have sacked him. So you're so afraid to take a new project because you feel if you fail, there's a probability for them to just sack you, right? So even though it didn't happen to you before, but because of the conversation that you hear, because of your surrounding, because of your environment, you create your own um, how to say, safety net. I would say it's more like a safety net. No one will create a belief without any reason. We are actually creating this self-limiting belief to protect ourselves. Example I give you, like the business, right? Obviously I protect myself not to go into any business because I don't want to go through that same experience again. So maybe that is why we do not want to get into relationship, because we fear that we would be betrayed. So we have this, we live in our own eggshell, right? Because we want to protect ourselves. But what we don't realize, this protection can be not can be, how to say, it's something like a jailing us, right? We don't realize that that particular protection that we build can actually jail us. So we wouldn't know what life is uh, outside that protection, outside the eggshell, outside the jail. We wouldn't know because we never explored that side before. Okay, limiting beliefs is what keeps us from seeing what is possible for ourselves. Look, this doesn't mean, right, when you break open the limiting belief, the success will pour to you. No, I'm not saying like that. But at least you have the possibility to explore and get the success, right? Rather than just being in the eggshell. If you're in the eggshell, there's no way the success can actually come to you without any effort that you put out, right? So that is what I'm saying. That doesn't mean that if you break the self-limiting belief, everything will come to you. No, you still need to take an action to go there. But however, this is the first step by breaking the wall. All right, for example of the limiting belief, right? Job or career, maybe you see your dream job, you saw your dream job somewhere, and but you do not want to apply, you do not want to even try because you think that you are not capable or qualified enough to even apply it. Right, probably you see that your friend who is more capable applying for the job, so it makes you think, he is applying, I'm sure that he will get, I wouldn't get, so I don't want to apply. You don't even want to do the first step of applying because you have the self-limiting belief that you wouldn't get it. In the aspect of money, right? Maybe you have let your parents or society trick into thinking that you are bad with numbers. Example, let me just give you an example, right? When I was young, my parents always would say that I'm bad in maths, which is kind of true in a way because I do not like um, straight direct maths, but I like those with complex question. That means if you give me situation based mathematical question, I like it, but I don't like direct maths. So of course my parent wouldn't see the difference, right? But they would be like, oh, she hates math, you hate maths, you are not good in mathematics. So somehow this is the belief that I had until up till now. Whenever I see number, I'll just run away. I'll be like, no, 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 I wouldn't do it. I didn't even try because I have this self-limiting belief that I am bad with numbers, right? But actually, the simple truth is that I'm still good with money. It's not that I'm bad in maths. It's just that that direct question doesn't feel attractive to me that I want to try to solve it. So you have to know yourself. Maybe you cannot generalize yourself that, oh, I'm bad at this subject, I'm bad in that subject. No, maybe there's certain aspect of the subject you don't like, but doesn't mean that you don't like the subject overall. So whenever you say that you don't like a subject, go back and think, is it truly the subject that you don't like, or there's certain aspect in that subject that you like, and there's certain subject in that subject that you don't like, certain aspect, right? So that's another thing about money, right? When you see your parents when you were young, like you see your parents always argue about money. Example, or they always say that it's not enough, money is not enough, we need to get this money to pay this debt. You always listen to this when you were young, so you will automatically associate money as something that gives stress to your life. You will automatically, because every time the conversation about money comes up, you always see fight, 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 fight. So you make an assumption, or you make an conclusion that money causes stress, right? So you gave that kind of belief. So when you actually associate money with stress, somehow, how you want to attract money, because you already associate money with stress, right? So it will be very difficult to money to be attracted and come to you. But we'll go through that later. I'm just giving you an introduction now. Okay, let me ask you this one question, right? If money was a person, how he or she would look like. Now I want you to reflect. I want you to close your eyes and think, if money was actually a person, it can be a guy, it can be a girl, or without any gender, right? He can be fat or thin or anything at all, or maybe that person is a different color, it doesn't look like a human, maybe the person look like an alien. How do you define this person? So I'm pretty sure you all are using laptops, so take your phone, right? Take your phone and go to menti.com. Can you see my browser?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So go to menti.com. Use this code 56293392. When you when you actually insert the code, the question will pop up, right? When it pop up, I want you to write down, what do you feel the person look like? Money as a person. Your name won't appear, so don't worry. Be as honest as you can. Interesting answers. I'm waiting for more answers. Because when I did this exercise with my previous student, very funny answers. That's where the alien came up, the person answered it looked green like alien. Anyone else? It's just two of us who answered.
I think, ma'am, they might answer later on, some of them.
Okay, so I'll just leave it here so that you guys can
Yes.
answer.
Okay.
Let me go through my slide again. Okay, there is a reason why I asked this question, because I want you to understand what is your relationship with money, right? How do you think about money? Do you think about it in a positive term, or you think about it in a negative term? When I actually did this exercise with my previous student, right? Some of them, when they think about money, they think about weapons, a person who is holding weapon, which actually signify a very important thing psychologically, right? That means the person is thinking money is a evil person, right? You look at how you associate money with a person. When you associate money with a good person, good quality person with positive qualities, right? That means you have positive relationship with money. However, for some reason, if you actually describe or define money as someone who is evil, holding weapon, holding bomb, or they are actually some evil kind of characteristic kind of person, and also have negative qualities, that means you have negative association with money. And that is really important point to note, because when you have to understand where this negative association come from, why did you start to define money as something negative, right? And it will be also good to note that when you actually imagine, are you imagining the money as some stranger, someone that you can't even touch, or you are actually imagining money as someone who is close to you, almost like a friend, right? All these things will impact psychologically how do you feel about money. All right, so if you went I'm not sure if you heard about Ken Honda. So he's a trainer from Mind Valley. He actually come up with this training program called Emotional EQ for Money EQ, right? So this is one thing that he actually iterated in that course itself. He told that the way we imagine money as a person is how we feel about money. So that is really important to take note. And also this limiting belief not only acts as a wall, right? It can actually stop you from even take an action. So when you actually have this limiting belief in front of you, you do not want to break it. You do not want to break the wall. So what will happen is something like this. You saw this abundance or this money or something that you know can bring money luck to you. So you are on the way going to take the money, for example. And what happened, all this self-limiting belief will come and act as a wall. For example, I will never make enough money to support my family, or I don't want to even try because for me, money won't even come to me easily. I've came across so many people who say that I don't know why money will never come to me. It's so difficult for money to come to me. And maybe you have heard these things that it's so difficult to earn money. Even I work so hard also, I cannot even get money, right? And our parents maybe use this, money doesn't grow on trees. So when our parents use this kind of statement like money doesn't grow on trees, it actually implies that it money is something so difficult to reach, right? Or probably you may have this feeling that I can't trust other people with money. I have to save it, I cannot spend it, or or you may think that totally opposite. If I have money, I have to spend it. Or you have this belief that our generation, throughout our generation, no one has actually been rich, so I cannot be rich. So all these are self-limiting belief that we create on our own. So even though we are on the way to go and attain the money, what will happen, because there's a wall in front of us like this, all this reasoning, we just walk away. We do not try to break this wall. And why we do not try to break this wall? There is a reason. Because we don't identify, we don't even realize there's an invisible wall in front of us, right? If you go through this kind of course, then only probably you'll realize, oh, I am thinking like this. Oh, yeah, I heard that. I always will tell money is so difficult to come to me. Now only I realize. Oh, yes, I have this limiting belief that I always think that rich people are bad people. So all these are limiting belief, right? When you come to this kind of course, probably that's when you realize, oh yeah, I have this kind of belief system. Or else you wouldn't know what will happen when you see this invisible block. You will just u-turn. You'll just like look at the wall and you'll go back. You wouldn't even try to go and break the wall to attain the money that is behind it. Okay. Now, as explained just now, where does this belief system actually come from? It may come from childhood, right? So probably when we were a child, right? You can't really have you are not so good in conversing how you feel yet, but you see things. Maybe when you're 3 or 4 years old, you see things, but you are not so good in explaining and justifying, asking question on why certain thing happening, right? You only see. So probably when you see, right, your parents are fighting regarding money, that already create this system in your mind saying that money is stressful. So that's how you will be brought up. After that, probably it will be so difficult for you to even identify the reason that you have that particular belief, right? Next would be family. So it can be your close family members or extended family members, or anyone that relatives, that you heard certain conversation or you saw something happening to them regarding money. Or maybe you have seen that they have taken some risk on money and they have failed. So you kind of have this fear that I do not want to invest, because when I invest, I saw this what happened to Kumar, so I don't want to invest. So maybe something happened to someone within your family or friends that caused you this fear regarding investment, regarding trust, regarding money overall. And next would be external situation. External situation can be even a simple non-significant thing that happened, but it is embedded in your mind. It can be something that happened with a friend of a friend, not maybe not your friend, not your own friend, maybe it's just a friend of a friend. However, you heard this conversation and somehow it create a fear in you. You see, emotional fear is a very big thing. Even though it didn't happen to you personally, but you will feel as though it happened to you personally. All right. So example, for when you heard stories like, oh, Kumar actually invested in this trust fund. He actually invested all his money there, and everything's gone now. Now it's so difficult for him in the family. So what will happen? You will be so fearful of investment, the word investment, because you have seen something happening to someone, something bad happening, right? So this is what I want you to, how to say, identify how you can identify, and after that how you can break it. It's actually it's actually quite easy, but it requires practice, it requires repetition. So this is where we all will fail usually. Identifying can be easy. You can just sit down tonight and just think and write about everything that you feel is limiting you from achieving your potential. But to break it, you need to practice. To break it, you need repetition. So this is where the challenge comes. Every single day you must wake up, and you must not allow your mind to go back to your previous belief system. It must create new belief system, and the new belief system should replace your old belief system. Okay, so how do you do that, right? There are few steps in reprogramming your brain. Number one, all right, first of all, you have to pick a topic on what you want to clear your limiting belief. You just take a journal or book or pen or something like that later lah, after this class, right? I probably will share this slide, so Vaishali probably can actually disseminate to whoever that want it. So first step you need to do, you need to identify. Just take one topic. You don't have to take such a big topic. Just take a specific topic that you think you are not happy with that particular aspect of your life currently. Can be family, can be career, can be money, can be anything. Just pick that topic, take a journal, and just the second thing that you need to do, just list down everything that you feel, how you feel, what you believe. Is there something significant that actually happened regarding that aspect? Write down every single thing. Now, read through that everything that you have written and thank it. You may think that why I want to give thanks to something that actually limit me, right? I shouldn't thank something that limit me. You must understand the reasoning of why this limiting belief happened. This limiting belief actually happened to protect you, right? To protect you from making bad decision. But now you are adult enough to let go of that limiting belief. When you were young, imagine you do not have any of this limiting belief, then you may have take a lot of risk, non-calculated risk, and it may put your life in danger. Probably, I'm just giving reasoning. So your belief system act as a protection system when you were young. Now that you're an adult, probably you're 17, you're 18, you can think, you have research capabilities, you may have all these capabilities to go and do your own research in making sure you make the right decision. So now that belief may not serve any more purpose in your life already. So what you need to do, you need to thank those belief system to because it has protected you all these years. Number four, forgive yourself and also forgive that limiting belief. How you can forgive? No need to go and say sorry to the limiting belief. Like, you cannot do that, right? You can always go to the mirror and say sorry to yourself. But then how you can forgive yourself is just telling to yourself, look, that was that limiting belief was created when I was young and naive and I didn't know anything. Now that I know better, I forgive myself and also that limiting belief so that I can move on. And the fifth thing that you need to do, you need to move on. So how you need to move on, how what you can do to move on, I will explain later in the second last slide, right? So it is so important to do this practice first. You cannot straight away jump to moving on. It's just like how love failure works, right? You need to move on. You need to go through certain phases to move on with your life. Exactly same way. If you want to reprogram your brain, you need to identify, you have to list down, you have to thank it for serving its purpose all this while. Forgive yourself for being naive that you had to create those belief systems, and allow yourself peacefully to recreate new belief, right? So that is how you change it. It wouldn't happen overnight. You have to repeat this exercise. Example, let's say money, because we are talking about money, right? So let's say you have identified that you always have issue with getting and attracting money. So you list down all those belief system that you have regarding money. Maybe you always think there is never enough money. I always have to save a penny to earn a penny. It's so difficult to earn. I'm always running out of money. Taxes are my worst enemy. I cannot do anything because government is not helping me. I cannot trust anyone with my money. Next, I can just thank those belief system. Probably when I was young, it helped me. Thank you so much. I forgive myself to have that belief system when I was naive and young. And now I want to recreate a new belief system. So I want to move on. So when I want to move on, that is where I take new calculated risk. So now whatever that you are fearful of, you can break and go through it, but take calculated risk. Always realize there is a risk, but again, there is no chance without risk. Next question that some of you may ask, that so are you saying that law of attraction and being money magnet is the same thing? Is it exactly the same thing? I would say yes and no. I would say being money magnet is the first step. Oh, sorry, law of attraction is the first step of being money magnet, but there's more to it, because law of attraction teaches that we think and then the money will come to us, correct or not? That's how law of attraction works. That means you maybe paste all these pictures on your board and you look at it every single day and the money will come to you. But being money magnet is not like that. Yes, that is the first step. Pasting everything on your vision board, seeing very clearly, writing down your goal, everything would be being money magnet. But apart from that, you need to take an action. So now you have all these goals already. What you need to do to achieve those goals? What kind of research that you need to do to achieve those goals? What kind of connection that you need to have to achieve those goals? What kind of networking activities that you need to do to be able to achieve all your money goals? So this being money magnet is more than law of attraction. Law of attraction will be the first step. Being money magnet is taking small action every single day to achieve your goal. Okay, let me just throw this to you, right? The fears regarding money. So this is through a research that I did, and also I've read a lot of books, that these fear are instilled in us when we were young, or probably from the society or family members. So now I'm going to show you guys one by one, and I want you to really reflect. Do you also have the same fears or not? If you feel that yes, I have the same fears, quickly write down so that you can identify these are your fears. So have you come across this thought that I don't want to have a lot of money lah, only bad people will have a lot of money? Or maybe you suddenly saw your neighbor, buying a lot of things for the house. Have you actually come across people saying that I think he's doing something bad lah, that's why suddenly he has a lot of money? Have you come across this kind of statements or not? Ask yourself that. Have you always come across this statement that money is limited, so you need to fight for it, that you need to compete for it every single day? This happens when you are in full-time job, right? Regarding promotion, regarding projects or whatever, you will always need to fight to get hold of it, hold of your promotion or hold of any kind of project that is available. So do you actually have this thought that in order to get money, I always need to fight, not physical fight, that you need to argue and fight for it? Like, it doesn't come to me easily. Have you Have you had this thought that it is actually kind of impossible to be rich and also happy? Because when I actually grew up, I heard people saying, you can be rich lah, but you won't be happy. You know, and so many years I always thought about it. I always thought that I just want to be happy lah. I don't want to be rich also, it's okay. But not, it didn't, I didn't come to my sense until a few years ago. Why can't I be rich and happy? Why I must choose one? Why I cannot have it all, right? So it took me some time for me to realize I can be rich, I can be happy also, what? Right? And have you come across this statement that, oh, rich people means always like that, lah? They wouldn't talk to other people. They are very unhappy. They are snobbish. They are bad person, right? You categorize and generalize rich person as such. This one, famous in Indian community, my bad luck. Anything that happened with us, we will actually say it's actually my bad phase in my life. That's why. Oh, that is that 7 years that happening in my life. Why it's so difficult for me to get the money. Have you come across that? So if you have come across that, write that down, because there's no such thing as bad phase. Money is dangerous. Okay, this is another thing my grandmother liked to say. She always will say, oh, don't keep a lot of money, then the thieves will come and steal your money. So when she say those things, right, it makes me very fearful of collecting money, of collecting jewelries, or collecting anything that is of value, because I'm so afraid that thieves will come and steal. And we have this notion that if good people, they are usually not rich. All right, that means if you're good, you're always poor. So it goes back to how, I don't know how it actually was created, but somehow this is a common misconception that happens, especially in our community. So now that you have actually identified all these fears, you may have these fears, or you have came across this kind of statement. Next thing, you need to identify your belief system. How you want to identify your belief system regarding money? I know that's a lot. Don't worry. We'll go through one by one. Number one, very honestly ask yourself, what beliefs did you inherit from your parents in money matters? Like I said, whenever your parents talking about money, what do you hear? Do you hear happiness? Do you hear sadness? Do you hear guilt? Do you hear anger? You know, ask yourself, whenever your family are talking about money, do they feel stressed or do they feel happy? Okay, that's a very important thing that you need to ask yourself, because that is the root of everything, your childhood trauma, right? Second, what do you remember the most from your childhood in regards to money, right? Just close your eyes and think back when you're 4 years old or 5 years old, or any years, doesn't matter. But what is the most significant and prominent thing that happened in your childhood, something regarding money? Can be a very simple thing, can be things like, probably you ask your parent for some money. Oh, mommy, I want to buy this, and suddenly she slap you. Maybe I'm just giving an example, maybe I'm a bit exaggerating. So maybe she slap you. Probably she was very stressed because she doesn't have enough money, so she slap you. So that is something that you remember prominently, right? Oh, I cannot ask anyone about money, because when I ask anyone about money, they will get stressed and they will slap me or they will hurt me. That is how you create the belief system. Next, you can ask yourself, what is the first word that comes into your mind when you hear the word money? All right, it can be good, it can be bad, it can be positive, it can be negative, but only you would know what is the first word that comes into your mind. Number four, how important is money in your life? Okay, and why do you feel that way? Is it the utmost important, or is it balanced? So for me, I have other things that I give importance to. Money is just a part of it. All right, so that is how you create your belief system, right? If you give it the utmost important, the first thing, number one, you will do anything for money. Okay, that means you have already created belief system that money is everything. Next, would you take a job that you may, or maybe you don't like it, just for the money? Money is number one criteria that you will look for when you're taking a job offer? Do you attach monetary worth to your being? Why do you feel that way? I have a lot of friends that feel so, especially when you reach certain age. Okay, probably when you reach 30s. I don't know why. It seems to be a common conception that people kind of attach your self-worth with how much money you have. So that is where people start to use a lot of branded stuff like phone, car, house, even watch, and laptop. The kind of laptop they will invest in branded stuff, because somehow they realize that people attach self value to how much money that you have. So now ask yourself, do you feel that way or not? And if you do, why do you feel that way? Next, which do you value more? Is it money or material things? So remember, money and material things are not interchangeable. It's not similar. Money is just paper. Material things is what you can buy with the money. So actually, what is important for you? Is it just the feeling of getting money, or is it by spending it to buy something that you like? So which is important, the most important for you as a person? Some people that I know, they don't like to buy stuffs, they just like to earn and save and invest, earn and save and invest for their uh, maybe children or grandchildren. I seen people like that. So ask yourself, do you actually value money because you probably want to use it for investment or buy properties or something that is not tangible, or do you like to earn money to buy things? So ask yourself this. How do you make decision to spend money? Every single day when you decide to spend money, do you are you very spontaneous? You think about it right now and tomorrow you go and buy it? Or are you very careful, you do a lot of research in order to spend the money? Or you don't really think much about it? You just buy when you feel that there's a need. You don't do all this extensive research. So ask yourself, how do you make decision when it comes to money? How do you feel about financially privileged person? For example, when you see your friend who is inherently rich, that means they are rich from their forefathers. How do you feel about them? Do you feel life is unfair, or do you feel, oh, it's okay, he also works hard? Okay. And how do you feel about financially deprived person? Do you feel like you that is very sad, or you feel they deserve it because they don't work hard? Some people do feel like that. So ask yourself, how do you feel about all this? Now, think about it. After you have actually asked yourself all those questions, right, you may have some ideas what are your belief system regarding money is, right? Now, ask yourself, subconsciously, am I actually blocking the money energy from getting to me? That means, am I stopping the money to be attracted to me? If you have negative connotation, if you have negative belief system regarding money, if you think money as a bad person with or an evil person, if you think money as someone holding a gun and killing everyone, right, that means you already create a negative connotation on money. And somehow subconsciously, whenever you think about money, you will feel stressed, you won't feel happy, you will feel that money will only bring me bad things. When you're already thinking like that, how can money come to you? Right, money wouldn't come easily to you. When I talk about money as an intangible thing, you may not be able to see it, but let me just give you this one example, right? Let's say you wanted to talk to a person A, but you see the person from far, you already feel that, oh, that is a bad person, I don't like his face, I don't like his dressing, I don't like the way he talk, I don't like the way he walk, he's a he's holding all these things, I don't like. You already feel full hatred, and you hate this person that you see. Number one, you wouldn't go and talk to the person even though you need to talk to the person. Probably your boss asked you to talk to the person, but you, even though you force yourself to talk to the person, do you think that person will realize that you don't like him? He would realize, right? Probably with the way you're talking, the way you actually behave, you won't be genuine with that person, and that person would actually know. The person will see you, and that person will say that the person don't like me. Now replace that person with money. Now you're doing the same thing about money. If you have all this negativity regarding money, even though you force yourself to go and attain the money, somehow the money will know that you are not having positive connotation with it, and it doesn't want to do anything with you. So you can actually imagine like that. So since I've actually spoke about Napoleon Hill, it's actually Napo. Sorry for the typo. So Napoleon Hill book. Let me just show you. So this is the book. This is an old book lah. 1937. This book is written 1937. I'm reading it until now. I'm reading it like, I think I actually got this book many years back, but I didn't start reading it 6 years or 5 or 6 years ago. And until now, some now and then I'll still refer to the book because I totally think that that book is amazing. In fact, Tony Robbins, a lot of prominent speakers actually refer back to Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. So if you have time, there's a lot of, you can actually download PDF copy for free already now. So you can go and Google Think and Grow Rich and just read it if you have time. So, who is Napoleon Hill? A lot of current speakers actually quoted Napoleon Hill's book, and some of these famous quotes are those that I've actually pasted on the slide. All right, you must remember whenever you try something, is even though you fail, it's temporary. You can always come back to who you are. That is one thing I would say that changed my life. That is what made me to be a bit like a risk taker, that I start to build a business on my own, because I feel that even though I fail, so what, at least I have tried to do something about it. And of course, I do all my research before I even embark on anything, but it actually gives me courage to start something. All right, so what you can do, so these 6 things that you can do to actually get your monetary goals. Number one, fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. You must be very definitive, right? So I have a vision board just in front of me. So in that vision board, I've actually written down exact amount of money that I want to be in my bank account, right? So so I actually printed out something that looks like my bank account, but I have edited that monetary to be the goal that I want. Number two, this is the most important thing. Again, it's not only about the amount of money. You have to ask yourself, what are you willing to do in exchange of getting the money that you desire? So you wouldn't get the money just for free. You have to give something to get the money in return, right? What kind of effort that you're willing to take? What kind of time that you're willing to sacrifice? What kind of investment that you're willing to make right now to get that amount? Ask yourself, what is your risk tolerance and what you're able to do. Number three, you have to establish a definitive date. You can be ambitious, but don't be over ambitious, because when you're over ambitious, you'll push yourself to failure. So always think of a sustainable time frame, right? Have that smart goal. So the third thing that you need to do, of course, have a date. Fourth, you have to create a definitive plan. Like for example, when I started my business, I had like 3 months plan, 6 months plan, 1 year plan. So write down the exact plan that you have to achieve that goal. Number five, write it down. So it's entirely up to you how you want to write it down. If you have a diary, you probably want to put it in the first page of your diary. But I like to use my vision board. So in my vision board, I will put it in a very subtle way. I don't write it like I want to have this amount on this date. You can do that, entirely up to you. But I actually have printed out a check with the date. So when I see my vision board, I will feel that, oh, I will get this check before this date. I have that feeling subtly. And number six, after you have done all this, you have to take action. Again, every single day, read your statement, whatever that you have written, every single day, read it out aloud and ask yourself, what am I doing today to achieve my goal? So every single day, right, you need to take 1 or 2 action to get you closer to your goal. So this is what you need to do. Honestly, I have personally tried this, and it is all in this book. So many people have actually done this as well, my students, and I would say they are closer to their goal. I think that is the end of our session today. If you have any question, you can always reach me at my website anuharan.com, or my LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn will be the best channel for you to reach me. Or for to you can also follow me in my Instagram anu_haran. I am done. Back to you, Vaishali, for any question and answers.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful session.
Welcome.
Yeah. There are two, three questions, ma'am, from our end that I have received. The first one is comparing with others beneficial for our money mindset?
Okay, thank you for the question. Amazing question. Comparing, there's two type of comparison that we can do. Number one, when you attach comparison in a negative term, how do you do that? Jealousy. If you realize when you compare, you have this feeling of jealousy, stop that right now. Because jealousy wouldn't bring you anywhere. Jealousy means you're comparing just to bring someone down, but you are not getting to their level. You're not trying to get to their level, but you're now trying to bring them down by having this negative connotation. But if you're comparing for inspiration, that is positive comparison, that is totally fine. How do you do positive comparison? You see what they do. You see what kind of tactic that they use. You see what kind of networking they have. You see what kind of friends they have, what kind of content that they follow. And you try to imitate that to bring you up to their level. That is fine. So I hope that
Okay, ma'am.
answers.
Yes, 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 absolutely, ma'am. And second one is better education helps to earn more money?
Again, sorry.
Does better education help us to earn more money?
Okay, I have
Like some
how to
parents have
say.
a belief, right? Yes.
So I would say it's 50-50 for me personally. All right, so you cannot totally forego education at all, because education is still important. Why I'm saying so, because it will give you this research mindset to be able to take calculated risk, right, to be able to help you to in decision making purpose. When you have proper education, then probably it will be something that you can fall back to, because you may have connection that are well educated that you can refer back to. So there's so many good parts of education, but that is not all, right? In order to make money, you must put that extra effort, which is asking yourself what you can do more to get something in return. So let's say you have studied, you're very highly educated, you know you want to get into a full-time job, but you want to go into business, that you have zero knowledge. Now you have to start from scratch. So am I saying the education is not important? No, education is still important, because you, even though it doesn't have direct experience with what you need to do, but at least you know what needed to be done. That means you know what kind of research that you need to take, because you have different kind of experience, and you still can apply that in your new endeavor. So yes, so
Yes,
I would say yes and no.
yes. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us your valuable time.
Thank you so much. So thank you everyone. So I hope this was useful for you. So I forgot to
Obviously.
fill out my feedback form, but however, if you have any feedback, please do share with me. I really want to know your feedback.
Sure, ma'am. We will let you know.
Sure. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Amal, for actually approaching me for this talk.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I would also like to thank Hemal Patel, sir, then the HOD of our department, the HR for Institute, Professor Jatin Vaidya, sir, the academic director, Dr. Mahesh Bhatt, sir, and the president of a university, Dr. Devanshu Patel, sir, for supporting and motivating us continuously for conducting this webinar. And last but not the least, I would like to thank all the participants who are assembled here today for this webinar. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining
Okay,
with
thank
us.
you so much. Have a
Yes.
great day.
Bye.